Hi, everyone. Welcome to the stream. It's Miriam, and I'm back with another amazing founder to talk about their journey and their passions and what brought them to this point in their life today. And they're also kind enough to be participating in the QUOKA project. So welcome, Aleta. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
It's Aleta.
Aleta.
Yeah.
Welcome,
Yeah.
Aleta. How are you doing today?
Doing pretty good. Yeah. Thank you.
Good. Well, I really appreciate you taking time to chat with me. I'm working on building QUOKA, and it's so helpful to talk to entrepreneurs like yourself that are out here working on building their dreams so that I can learn from the challenges and build a platform that will best. And really, just the questions asked, I'm looking for there's no right or wrong answer in any way. Just want to get answers from you. So that I can make the product awesome.
Cool.
Do you have any questions before we get started?
I don't think so. I really respect what you're doing. And yeah, I appreciate you inviting me to be here.
Thank you. Well, let's start off. I'd love to just kind of pull up your site so people can see what you do, and let's talk about it. Like, how did you get into Wise Heart?
Yeah, so it was kind of a long journey, but basically in undergrad, I struggled with food and body when I went to college, and ended up navigating an eating disorder for the entire time that I was in undergrad. And I sought out treatment, I believe my end of my sophomore year, and I found two women who were kind of like the pioneers in the anti-diet, intuitive eating, health at every size community in terms of like therapy and dietitian work. And so I got really lucky that I ended up working with them. And my journey through the healing process was really impacted by like the social justice work and the activism piece of health at every size. And so I knew that I wanted to bring that to other people who are also struggling with food. And so I decided to go to grad school for nutrition and clinical health psychology, and ended up adding the dietitian program as kind of a last minute add-on. And yeah, and then I just noticed that I was working with a lot of folks with ADHD, and I have ADHD, and that has definitely impacted my relationship with food. And I really enjoyed the work that I was doing, like with those clients in particular. And so that's sort of how I've ended up shifting towards more of an ADHD focus in my work, and teaching ADHDers how to apply intuitive eating in their own lives.
Okay, this is so cool. Because I love this. For me, I feel like the movement, I've really just found out in recent years about this movement, and I love people just celebrate. Let's celebrate all sizes. 100% as someone who's on like the way slender side, and it's just and knowing as well, like some people that health is not connected to size of your body. That is not the thing. So what is this? You're saying inclusive eating or what, intuitive eating? I've never heard of this. What is this?
Oh, awesome. Yeah, so it's basically like how the type of eater that we are born as. So I like to think of like babies and kids as being intuitive eaters, where we listen to our bodies. Sometimes we don't listen to them, but there's not a lot of judgment about it. We experiment with new foods, and we're constantly like in relationship with food and in a learning process. And over the course of our life, diet culture really interrupts that kind of intuitive relationship with food and our bodies, and teaches us to turn off hunger cues and to, avoid getting full, and labeling foods as good or bad. And so intuitive eating is really like the process of returning to that place where you are more connected with your body, you are more embodied, and you're making decisions not based out of all this external information, but the internal intuitive sense that, yeah, that you have.
I'm into it. I love it. I think I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs, at least for myself, like I need to eat more, probably. I don't
Yeah.
eat as much as I should be. My mom's always
Yes.
saying it too. She's like, "Ah."
Yeah. It's so easy to get caught up in all the lists of things that we have to do.
Yeah, and
Yep.
have this odd relationship with food where it's like fuel. You know, it's like, oh, I have
Mm-hmm.
to eat, otherwise I'm going to pass out and I can't
Yes.
code anymore.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. And that's something I love about intuitive eating as well, is there is a piece around like pleasure and satisfaction. And that's my favorite part of the work, is like how do we reconnect with joy around food and eat things that make us happy. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah. So you offer services around this. People can learn these
Mm-hmm.
techniques.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of it is like unpacking beliefs and narratives around food and body. And then, yeah, like setting up like tools and systems for actually practicing intuitive eating, or even practicing like gentle nutrition, which is, feeding your body foods that promote health and wellness, while also like honoring the fact that we're human, and that we like want to engage in celebration, and yeah, things get in the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very much. Wonderful. I love this. I'm so glad that we met.
Yeah.
And how long have you been doing this work?
Yeah. So let's see, I graduated from grad school in 2016, so 5 years. And I went through my eating disorder recovery around like 2007, 2008. And so that's when I really like dove into health at every size and intuitive eating. So I can't even do 14 years that I've been, yeah, kind of in that world.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. So, as just basically me and you got into this entrepreneur journey at around the same time, about 5 years.
Yeah.
Been doing it.
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. So let's dive into some more of this stuff. But I'm just happy that I met you at this point where I'm growing, and food is really important to me. So
Mhm.
it's just nice to know someone that's doing this work.
Yeah.
Do you belong to any entrepreneur communities?
Um, that's a good question. I guess yes. I'm in a couple of like different group programs for like content creation and accountability. And that is because with ADHD, I really struggle with consistency and follow through and perfectionism and all of these different like important pieces of being an entrepreneur. And so I've found that being in groups where, we're meeting once a week and have that accountability, I am better able to show up as an entrepreneur and be successful in marketing and in content production. I guess is that what you mean by entrepreneur groups, or are there?
Yeah, whatever you would
Okay.
consider, like any like
Yeah.
founder communities where other entrepreneurs
Yeah.
are you're meeting regularly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that, and then a couple of friends/colleagues and I are talking about starting a business club where we meet once a week and do like work parties. And so hopefully that will happen in the next month or two. Yeah.
Yeah. It sounds like fun. Like
Yes.
truly, I'm like, yes, a work party? I'm about it. Let's get
Yes.
together. Let's be productive. Oh
Yes.
my gosh. Yes. Okay, so these next questions are true or false, kind of like yes or no. Being an entrepreneur is fun.
True. Most of the time.
Being an entrepreneur is hard.
Yes. True. True. Sorry.
Do you feel understood as an entrepreneur?
Mm. I would say false, especially as like a female neurodivergent entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel listened to as an entrepreneur?
What do you mean by that? Do you mind sharing a little bit more?
Yeah. So when you are out and about, with your life, you're living it, and entrepreneur is part of, your identity.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess the question is, do you feel listened to as a person, really? As being as this like is there do you feel like there's space in your life where people listen to your perspective from the entrepreneur? Like you're talking about life as well as an entrepreneur, XYZ. Do you feel like that is something that happens? People listen to you in that way?
Yeah, I would definitely say so. I've definitely like mentored different folks. I have a couple of dietetic interns coming on, and then just even like outside of like my actual like food and nutrition world. I definitely talk to people about being an entrepreneur and what that's like, and yeah, I do feel listened to.
That's great. What about this one? The people around you understand the problems and challenges that you face as an entrepreneur.
Mm. Mostly, I would say yes.
Is life as an entrepreneur depressing at times?
True. Yeah, definitely.
Do you feel pressure as an entrepreneur to be involved in communities online and in person?
Absolutely.
Do you enjoy helping others and solving problems?
I do. True.
When it takes you a few days to reply to someone that's asking for your help, do you feel guilty?
True. Yes.
Do you feel pressure to look like you know what you're doing as an entrepreneur?
100%.
Do you always feel confident that you know what you're doing?
No.
Oops. False. Sorry. Do you have people that you can speak to about your deepest thoughts and challenges about being an entrepreneur?
True. I do.
Do you feel comfortable asking for help when you need it?
Hmm. I would, oof. I feel like I'm working on that. So maybe half true, half false, but we'll go with true because I definitely am pushing myself to seek more support. So I'm not doing it on my own, but it doesn't feel comfortable. It's not natural for me.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you like best about being an entrepreneur?
I love the flexibility of being able to come up with my own schedule and take vacation when I want, and kind of create the business model that really works for me. I love being able to be creative and not feeling like I'm stuck in a box, trying to like fulfill someone else's like vision or mission. And I love the mentorship part as well. So sort of being like the leader of an organization. That's something that brings me a lot of joy.
Mm-hmm. What about the thing you like least about it, most challenging?
Yeah. Wearing all of the hats that we have to wear, being the financial person and the social media person and the admin person, like all these different pieces, is just really exhausting. And especially like before, like where I'm at right now, where I feel like I've grown a lot and like I haven't quite grown into having a team, that it just feels hard.
Mm-hmm. If you were giving advice to an aspiring entrepreneur, what would you tell them they need to fulfill their full potential?
Ooh, that's a good question. I would say just like trusting the process, and being willing to like be uncomfortable and take risks and not wait until you feel ready to like make decisions or jump in. Yeah, I think that if I had like waited until I felt good about going into it, I never would have done anything.
Yeah. Do you feel like you have everything you need to fulfill your potential as an entrepreneur?
Ooh. No. I think that there are a lot of resources that are lacking for women. I think there are a lot of resources that are lacking for neurodivergent entrepreneurs. And then also just, from like a financial perspective, it can feel hard to get ahead and to hire like all of the different team members that would be really helpful. But I also like trust that I will get there at some point, that I will be able to hire people and I will be able to grow my business. Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you need information, maybe you want to learn something new that's related to your business, you need help, you're facing a challenge, where do you go for the answer?
Oftentimes I will just sort of hash it out with the women that I mentioned earlier, like my colleagues. I have one good friend in particular where we're kind of in the same like phase of our business development, and so we have a lot of the same things coming up, and we kind of will bounce ideas off each other and work it out. I go to like the group memberships, the communities that I'm a part of, and then also like some of my mentors, supervisors, and people who have been doing it for a long time and have been really successful or have figured out parts of it that I still don't have yet. I definitely will ask for some support from them.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Google. Sorry. Yeah.
And then obviously every situation will vary, but on average, how much time does it typically take you to get the information or support that you need?
Feels like a hard thing to quantify. I would say getting the information is pretty quick. Like, I could probably find out like the answer to a very specific question within an hour, or maybe 2 hours of doing some like investigation or research. But actually like applying that information could take so much longer. Yeah.
Okay, now we're going to go into some questions about mental health. How would you rate your overall mental health on a scale from 0 to 10?
Probably right now, maybe like a 7.
Okay. And on a scale from 0 to 10, how does it make you feel that you rated yourself a 7?
Maybe like a 4. I wish it was a little higher. Yeah.
Now, out of these, you can choose as many as you want. Which ones are negatively impacted when you have felt less than great mentally?
All of them. All of the above.
And now we're going to choose whether the following items have a positive, negative, or no effect on your mental health. Social media.
Negative effect.
The news.
Negative effect.
Family.
Mostly positive effect.
Friendships.
Mostly positive.
Work.
Mostly positive.
Volunteering.
Positive.
Romantic relationships.
Positive.
Which one has the most positive effect on your mental health?
Probably, probably friendships, or just like relationships in general. Yeah.
How many hours per week do you spend engaging in activities with friendships?
Probably, I mean, excluding like my partnership, probably like 4 to 6 hours a week.
And how or what do you do to help, support or manage your mental health? What are you doing?
Definitely engaging in communities of people who are struggling with the same things. I have a wonderful therapist that I've been seeing for many years, and I work with her every other week. That's been really important. Giving myself room for rest has been huge, especially I think with the pandemic and going all the time. Just making sure that I'm like penciling that in. What else? Doing non-work things is really, really helpful. Being able to like step away from work completely and do something mindless, or just something that's different. And then being outdoors, being in nature. It's probably like my number one.
Do you use any applications or websites to help you manage or support your mental health?
Yes, I would say Google Calendar is probably the biggest support of my mental health. If Google Calendar ever goes down, my brain might also shut down. So that would definitely be number one. I use Todoist off and on, just for help with like organizing and managing some of my like thoughts and anxiety about what I have to do. I've used Insight Timer as well, which is it's called like a meditation app, but there's a lot of like guided visualizations and self-compassion exercises, and I can find that when I'm like feeling super, super overwhelmed and I don't know where to start, that even doing like 5 minutes of that can be really helpful.
Yeah. Can you tell me about a time when you felt mentally unhealthy or imbalanced?
Yeah. I mean, definitely in grad school. Like when I first started grad school, it was such a big transition. There were a lot of different changes happening for me in that time of my life, and I was learning things that were new to me, and like taking classes that I didn't feel super confident in, and having to also like do all the self-care that I was able to better do when I was not in school. And yeah, I didn't feel like I had a lot of support. I moved from New Mexico to Seattle, Washington at that point. And so I didn't have a whole lot of community around. And that just felt really lonely and overwhelming and exhausting. And that was actually what led me to get an official ADHD diagnosis. It was something that like I knew that I had for a long time, but to get like actual treatment for it, get medication, that helped a lot. It didn't solve everything, but it really helped me get out of that rut.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing and being vulnerable.
Yeah.
Do you talk to your family about your mental health?
Yeah, definitely. I'm really close with my mom and my dad and my sister. Yeah, and so I definitely can like call them up and let them know what's going on and get support from each of them in really different ways. And then my partner is also super supportive and lets me kind of like word vomit at the end of the day.
What about friends? Do you talk to your friends?
Definitely. Yeah. Most of my friends are therapists. So that makes that easy.
Great. What support do you need that you're not receiving to help manage your mental health?
Yeah. I mean, the thing that I really want and imagine would be helpful is more of like personal assistant style support. Just sort of managing like everyday things, creating systems for me, both as an entrepreneur, but then also like as a person. And not to say that that is like realistic or fully exists, but I think being able to like outsource more easily would be really, really helpful. Does that make sense? Does that answer your question?
Yeah, definitely. And I can recommend some virtual assistants to you if you.
Cool. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. I took the jump and it really made a world of difference. I know it's hard because it's like, oh, then you have to invest finding them and training them. And it's almost like, well, forget it. I'm just going to do the thing myself. But it's like really good.
Yeah. Yes.
It helps.
Yeah. I feel like taking things off of our plate, so like as entrepreneurs, is so important. And
like literally, I mean, there have been times where I'm like, I really should just like get one of those meal plans or something. You know, I do like to cook and stuff, but like, you know, just to be like, okay, breakfast is ready, then I eat it. Versus like, otherwise I'm just like, we'll just do a smoothie.
Yeah. Which is great too. Something.
Get right into it. Dive in, work.
Yes. Yeah. I feel like the fewer decisions we have to make and the fewer steps we have to take, the easier it is to focus on our work.
Yeah. Which is what we want to do. Yeah. How much would you expect to pay for some sort of platform that created a more positive impact on your mental health?
I guess by platform, do you mean like interactive, or is it like tools that I would like have access to, or would it be kind of like community based?
Maybe thinking about what you said would be supportive, like some sort of a personal assistant style support where you know create systems for you and as an entrepreneur and a person.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if there's like a dollar amount. I think that if it was super helpful and could alleviate some of that, I mean, I pay $130 for therapy every other week, and that's really helpful. And so, you know, I think, I mean, I would be willing to pay something like that for the same amount of benefit.
Right.
Yeah.
When thinking about the mental health of people that you know, how do you think most of them would rate themselves on a mental health scale 0 to 10?
Right now, probably like a 6 with the pandemic. Yeah, around a 6, 5 or 6.
Okay, now I want to talk to you a little bit about social media. Which social platforms do you use out of these ones?
I use Instagram, Facebook, TikTok inconsistently. I think that's it. Yeah.
On average, how many messages do you receive a day?
Direct messages, probably only like 1 or 2, actually.
What about combining it with text messages?
Oh gosh. Like from friends and family and
Hmm.
oh gosh, over 10.
How does receiving over 10 messages a day make you feel?
Tapped out and overwhelmed.
And how many messages are you sending a day?
Definitely over 10.
And how does sending that number of messages make you feel?
Um, Stressed out. Yeah, and overwhelmed.
Okay. Now I'm going to send you a link. It would be
Mhm.
really great if you could share what you're seeing on the link and kind of talk out loud as you experience it. So let me send it over to you. And being 100% brutally honest, nothing is
Okay.
right or
And
wrong.
I can click on it while we're
Yeah, you should be able to
okay.
share the screen and then
Okay.
be able to
Oh,
click on it.
perfect. Okay. Whoop. Guys, not therapy. Right. Sorry, I just had to agree.
We can't
I
wait.
really. Oh, go ahead.
Can you share? Can you click share
Oh. Oh,
first
yes.
and then?
Where? I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, it's okay. It's good.
Um.
Then I'll bring it up.
Share screen.
Yeah.
Okay. Oops. Did that work?
Probably. It's just maybe loading.
Okay. Okay.
Not yet. Did you see anything pop up and
Oh,
say?
there we go. There we go. Perfect.
There we go. Perfect.
I need some tech support.
The matrix.
Awesome. Okay.
Okay, great.
All
So
right.
just
Do you see?
yeah, we
Yeah.
see.
Okay.
So,
Awesome. Um, I mean, I feel really drawn in by the colors and the layout right away, and I appreciate that there's a person of color as um, like the face or the first image that's seen. Uh, Being a founder is exhausting. Definitely agree with that. And I love the idea of like it's just a text. It's not something that I need to like show up for or yeah, commit to. It looks like it's really easy to get started, which I think is so important for people who have a lot going on. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say I agree with all of these. Yeah. Not another app. That really, I think, like hits home or resonates for me. I think I've downloaded countless apps to try and manage all these different parts of my mental health, and 99% of them just kind of sit there unused. And so, yeah, I really like that that's highlighted. And the anonymous piece, I think that's really great. I love your color choices. Those are awesome.
thank you.
Yeah. Hmm.
Do you have any suggestions or
Hmm.
concerns?
Um, yeah, I'm glad you asked that, like actually right here. I noticed like a response to seeing like male, woman, and not seeing like non-binary folks represented. I can imagine the entrepreneurs that don't identify as female or male would maybe not feel included. Yeah. or maybe question like, is this for me?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, otherwise.
Yeah, such a good point. I actually have one non-binary member
Oh,
in.
cool.
So that's such a good point, and it's always so
Yeah.
interesting to hear comments on these calls with users are so important
Yeah.
because just yesterday someone was like, "Oh, I really like that it's like male, female," and then here we have it's like, well, this is a concern, and it's so true, and I never even thought about it as someone who's very conscious of these things, or try to be.
Yeah.
Clearly, I've overlooked some things.
Yeah. One,
Thank you.
yeah, and it makes sense. Like, you know, if you haven't had a lot of people who are like not binary, or yeah, that you wouldn't necessarily have a lot of social proof that to put on the website from that. So it makes sense that right now you have male and female.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
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 How would you describe what QUOKA is in 2 to 3 sentences?
Yeah. You know, it sounds like, I guess, can I ask a clarifying question before?
Mm-hmm.
Are the people who are responding to the text messages, are they like people that work for QUOKA, or are they other community members?
Yeah. So right now, it's other community members.
Okay.
If you ask a question, it goes out to the community, and then they respond, and those responses go back to you and also to any members that have said, I also want to see the answers to this question.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And then if it's just like general question, like, well, how does QUOKA work? Or, you know, things like that, then that's basically just me responding.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
I am QUOKA. Like,
Awesome.
you know, eventually we'll
Yes.
have other people, you know, some automation with some of the stuff is automated. Like when you first sign up, there's automated messages that go out. Thank gosh,
Okay.
because when I first launched it, everything had to be sent by me, and it was super not scalable at all. It was like crazy.
Yeah.
But now I've gotten to where I automate some things, and then some things are still have to be sent out by me, but they're the same messages that go out.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's member-driven content and member-driven responses so far. How do you feel about that?
I love that. I think there's something really powerful about like watching other people's process of getting support, and seeing someone's question and then the answer. And it might be like, for me, often I feel like I don't even know what questions to ask. And so, to like have both sides of that available is really, really cool. And yeah, it sounds like it's like a community conversation where like there are no like stupid questions, or there are no kind of like off limits conversation or topics.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, great. So did you want to finish describing it, what you think it is?
Yeah. Let me just have to make sure. Cool. Look at that time. Yeah. Sounds like it's a really easy to access anonymous community where like entrepreneurs can have open and honest conversations about like what it's like to be an entrepreneur, or get support around being an entrepreneur. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you so much for your comments and really kind words on the website.
Of course. Yeah.
Do you want me to add you to the email list? It's totally up
Yeah,
to you, no
that
pressure.
would be great.
Okay, great. And I'm grateful for you taking time out of your day to chat with me.
Yeah, of
What
course.
can I do to support your work in return?
Ooh. Um, I mean, I think I would love to like check out what you have to offer here. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I could see
no,
how that could be really supportive.
please check it out. It's
Wonderful.
totally free to join. Would love for you to use it and give
Yeah,
feedback through QUOKA.
yeah,
But if there's
awesome.
anything else in the future as well that I can do to support what you're up
Perfect.
to,
Awesome.
let me know. I want to follow. I'm going to go. I assume your website has
Yeah.
all of your socials.
Hmm.
I can
Yeah,
follow you there. I'm new
yeah,
on TikTok, so
awesome. Yeah,
definitely want to follow you on TikTok.
yes. I will be going back to it. I'm getting married in 2 weeks, and the last few months have been kind of a blur. So yeah, so I will go back to
Congratulations.
TikTok soon. Thank you.
How fun. Oh, that's
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
Yay.
yeah.
Yeah,
Exciting. Yeah.
that is exciting.
Yeah.
Are you
Yeah,
guys
but I
going to do
just
it
okay.
locally or are you going to go somewhere for it?
Yeah, it's like it's about like 2.5 hours from Bellingham. So in Washington, but a little bit out of where we are.
Nice. That's
Yeah,
great.
yeah, I'm really excited. So,
It's nice weather. It's a nice time of year to do it.
yes, yeah. Hopefully, we won't be too hot or get rained on.
Yeah, I think it'll be great.
Yeah, yeah,
Lovely. Well, I'm sure you
awesome.
have so much going on, and I appreciate you
Yeah,
taking time from all the wedding planning and entrepreneur stuff just to chat with me. And I'm hoping we can keep in touch
yeah,
as we go.
absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right. Have a good rest of
All
your
right,
day.
you too.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.